Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ministers, colleague, heads of delegation, permanent observers, representatives, Secretary General Almagro, and Assistant Secretary General Ambassador Mendez. At the outset, Mr. Chair, I would just like to say that the Bahamas stands in solidarity with our sister country, Bolivia, with the respect to the rule of law and democracy, and condemns adamantly and vehemently any actions that might be in contravention of those two tenets. I would like to thank you for convening this forum to facilitate the dialogue with the permanent observers to the OAS. At the outset, I wish to commend the permanent observers to the OAS for your renewed commitment to collaborate with the OAS and its member states, and for fidelity with the principles and objectives outlined in the OAS Charter. Mr. Chair, earlier this month, the Bahamas welcomed almost 5,000 delegates for the African Export-Import Bank's annual meeting and Afro-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum for high-level discussions to strengthen trade, investment, and development cooperation between the African continent and the Caribbean region. These meetings resulted in hundreds of millions of dollars in commitments for development project financing and investments. Progress towards what my Prime Minister has coined a global Africa, a movement which celebrates and leverages the shared heritage and potential of African and Caribbean nations, and advance multilateral collaboration towards a fairer and more inclusive international financial system. This type of concrete multilateral engagement and collaboration is what the Bahamas and the Caribbean region seeks with all regions of the world. And we welcome similar opportunities for engagement at scale with Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. We see the OAS as an important hemispheric institution which meaningful, relevant, and impactful multilateral engagement and collaboration can be channeled. Beyond its political convening power, the OAS has a comparative advantage few can match in delivery of projects and programs of technical assistance, training, and capacity building. We see tangible evidence of these advances in the development and security work being done at the OAS. Mr. Chair, 9 months ago, ministers and high-level authorities of sustainable development met in the Bahamas to deliberate on the hemispheric response to the existential threat of our time, which is climate change. In Nassau, OAS member states adopted two landmark political documents, the Nassau Declaration on Sustainable Development in the Americas and the Inter-American Climate Change Action Plan, 2023-2030. This action plan will guide the work of the OAS in sustainable development over the next several years and mandates scale up and focused attentions to the areas of integrated water resources management, renewable energy, disaster risk reduction, and climate change mitigation and adaptation. We know that many permanent observers are doing great work in these areas, and in some cases have already established development cooperation partnerships with other regions for sustainable development, and we invite you to consider partnering with the OAS on these efforts. Mr. Chair, as we begin the multilateral security support mission in Haiti to help our Haitian brothers and sisters restore stability, security, and the rule of law in their country, we encourage all permanent observers to consider tangibly supporting the mission and supporting the work of the OAS will do to facilitate provisions of security, electoral, and humanitarian support. The Bahamas will join others in providing personnel support to the mission, and particularly will provide support for strengthening maritime, waterside, and port security. Lastly, Mr. Chair, we encourage permanent observers that share the goal of promoting multilingualism throughout this hemisphere, particularly enhance fluency in English, Spanish, French, and Portuguese to collaborate with the OAS Secretariat on the language training cooperation program that is being developed to help us move towards a more interconnected and inclusive Americas and world through providing accessible language training to our citizens, diplomats, and OAS staff. As I conclude, Mr. Chair, I wish to reiterate that the Bahamas and the countries of the CARICOM region are open to a more ambitious and tangible engagement with the countries that serve as permanent observers of the OAS. We look forward to the fruits of this enhanced collaboration in the years to come. Thank you, Mr. Chair.